A curule seat is a design of chair noted for its uses in ancient Roman Europe through to the 20th century. Its uses in Rome as a symbol of political or military power carried over to be used in such a regard by kings in Europe, Napoleon, and others. History. Ancient Rome. In the Roman Republic and Empire, the curule chair was the seat upon which magistrates holding imperium were entitled to sit. This includes dictators, magistri equitum, consuls, praetors, censors, curule aediles, and the pro-magistrates, temporary or de facto holders of such offices. Additionally, the flamen of Jupiter was also allowed to sit on a curule seat, though this position did not hold imperium. Livy writes that the three flamens Maios, high priests of the archaic triad of major gods, were each granted the honor of the curule chair. According to Livy, the curule seat, like the Roman toga, originated in Etruria, and it has been used on surviving Etruscan monuments to identify magistrates. However, much earlier stools supported on a cross frame are known from the New Kingdom of Egypt. One of the earliest recorded examples of the curule chair was in 494 BC, when the honor of a curule chair in the Circus Maximus was awarded to the Roman dictator Manius Valerius Maximus as a result of his victory over the Sabines. According to Cassius Dio, early in 44 BC, a Senate decree granted Julius Caesar the curule seat everywhere except in the theatre, where his gilded chair and jeweled crown were carried in, putting him on a par with the gods. As a form of throne, the cella might be given as an honor to foreign kings recognized formally as allies by the Roman people or Senate. The curule chair is also used on Roman medals as well as funerary monuments to express a curule magistrancy. When traversed by a aster, it is the symbol of Juno. In Rome, the curule chair was traditionally made of veneered with ivory, with curved legs forming a wide X. It had no back and low arms. Although often of luxurious construction, this chair was meant to be uncomfortable to sit on for long periods of time, the double symbolism being that the official was expected to carry out his public function in an efficient and timely manner, and that his office, being an office of the Republic, was temporary, not perennial. The chair could be folded, and thus was easily transportable. This accords with its original function for magisterial and pro-magisterial commanders in the field. It developed a hieratic significance, expressed in fictive curule seats on funerary monuments, a symbol of power which was never entirely lost in post-Roman European tradition. 6th century consular ivory diptychs of Orestes and of Constantinus each depict the consul seated on an elaborate curule seat with crossed animal legs. Other uses. Along the Silk Road, the folding seat of the Eastern Roman Empire made its way to China, where in various forms including the huqiang, the barbarian bed, it transformed the dress, architecture and lifestyle of the Chinese. In Han China, the folding chair made its first literary mark in the 2nd century AD, used out of doors in a military rather than domestic setting, and from the way it was addressed in a poem by Yu Xiaowu, written about 552 by the name handed down Yu from a foreign region coming into and being used in the capital. With legs leaning, your frame adjusts by itself, with limbs slanting, your body levels by itself. It is clear the cross-framed folding seat was intended. In Gaul, the Merovingian successors to Roman power employed the curule seat as an emblem of the right to dispense justice, and the Capetian successors retained the iconic seat. The throne of Dagobah, of cast bronze retaining traces of its former gilding, is conserved in the Bibliothèque Nationale de France. The throne of Dagobah is first mentioned in the 12th century, already as a treasured relic, by Abbot Suger, who claims in his administration, "We also restored the noble throne of the glorious King Dagobah, on which, as tradition relates, the Frankish kings sat to receive the homage of the nobles after they had assumed power." We did so in recognition of its exalted function and because of the value of the work itself. Abbot Suchet added bronze upper members with foliated scrolls and a back piece. The throne of Dagobah was coarsely repaired and used for the coronation of Napoleon. In the 15th century, a characteristic folding chair of both Italy and Spain was made of numerous shaped cross-framed elements, joined to wooden members that rested on the floor and further made rigid with a wooden back. 19th century dealers and collectors termed these Dante chairs, or Savonarola chairs, with disregard to the centuries intervening between the two figures. Examples of curule seats were redrawn from a 15th century manuscript of the Roman de Renaud de Montauban and published in Henry Shaw's Specimens of Ancient Furniture. The 15th or early 16th century curule seat that survives at York Minster, originally entirely covered with textiles, has rear members extended upwards to form a back, between which a rich textile was stretched. The cross-framed armchair, no longer actually a folding chair, continued to have regal connotations. James I of England was portrayed with such a chair, its framing entirely covered with a richly patterned silk damask textile, with decorative nailing. In Paul Van Sommer's portrait, similar early 17th century cross-framed seats survive at Noel perquisites from a royal event. The photo of actor Edwin Booth, his Hamlet, poses him in a regal cross-framed chair, considered suitably medieval in 1870. The form found its way into stylish but non-royal decoration in the archaeological second phase of neoclassicism in the early 19th century. An unusually early example of this revived form is provided by the large sets of richly carved and gilded pliants forming part of long sets with matching tabourets delivered in 1786 to the royal chateau of Compiègne and Fontainebleau. With their imperial Roman connotations, the backless curule seats found the way into furnishings for Napoleon, who moved some of the former royal pliants into his state bedchamber at Fontainebleau. Further examples were ordered, in the newest Empire taste. Jacob Desmaltes seats with members in the form of carved and gilded sheathed sabres were delivered to St. Cloud about 1805. Cross-framed drawing-room chairs are illustrated in Thomas Sheraton's last production, The Cabinet Maker, Upholsterer and General Artist's Encyclopedia, and in Thomas Hope's Household Furniture. With the decline of archaeological neoclassicism, the curule chair disappeared. It is not found among Biedermeier and other late classical furnishing schemes. Gallery.